Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Moses Moody is a young man who has been trying to stand out for the Lakers, but he has had few minutes on the court and this has affected the player. The Warriors want to trade Moses Moody and have offered him to other teams. By the end of the trade deadline, the Warriors will send Moody to a rival team in exchange for another player. The Golden State Warriors would have been a lot better had the Chicago Bulls accepted their offer at the last NBA trade deadline. NBA insider Jake Fisher reported on Substack's The Stein Line on Saturday, December 21, that the Warriors seriously pursued Alex Caruso and also four-time NBA rebounding leader Andre Drummond. Golden State, as one recent example, offered multiple first-round draft picks for Caruso at last February's trade deadline and was even willing to part with Moses Moody, along with other players, sources said, in a trade construction that could have also landed Torrey Craig and Andre Drummond with Golden State. That's the same Moody, of course, who came to terms with the Warriors on a Caruso-esque contract extension in October, $39 million over 3 years, Fisher wrote. Caruso would have easily been the Warriors' best perimeter defender and Drummond would have been their best rebounder. But that ship has already sailed. The Bulls eventually sent Caruso in the past offseason to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Josh Giddey, who was selected 9 picks ahead of Moody and 1 pick ahead of Jonathan Kuminga in the 2021 NBA Draft. Then, Drummond signed a 2-year, $10 million with the Philadelphia 76ers as a free agent. The curious case of Moses Moody. Moody's role with the Warriors remains in flux. Over the last 2 games, Moody has only logged a total of 12 minutes. His guaranteed contract did not translate into a guaranteed spot in Steve Kerr's rotation. The addition of Dennis Schroeder further buried him on the Warriors' bench. Moody could still be traded, but it's more complicated now with the poison pill of his new contract. In any trade involving Moody, his outgoing salary is his 2024-25 contract of $5.8 million, while his incoming salary to any potential Warriors trade partner is counted as $11.2 million, the average of his contract over the next 4 years. Moody's poison pill will be lifted in the offseason when his outgoing and incoming salary will be of equal value. Underscore 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 underscore. Warriors evaluating their center rotation. After missing out on Drummond, the Warriors are still mulling their options on the center position, per Fisher. The center position has drastically been devalued in the modern NBA until Nikola Jokic's rise as 3-time MVP. Jokic could potentially add another MVP hardware this season. He's become a headache for the Warriors. Jokic and the Nuggets hold an 8-1 record over the Warriors over their last 9 meetings. And it's not only Jokic whom the Warriors are dealing with in the crowded and supersized Western Conference. There's Lakers' Anthony Davis, Spurs' Victor Wembanyama, Timberwolves' Rudy Gobert, Rockets' Alperen Sengun, Grizzlies' Zach Edey and the Thunder pair of Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. Kevin Looney, the Warriors' leader in rebounding with 7.5 per game, has an expiring $8 million deal that has drawn interest around the league, according to Fisher. After swiftly addressing its need for a secondary scorer behind Stephen Curry with Sunday's acquisition of Dennis Schroeder, Golden State is still evaluating its own center rotation, sources say. The Warriors have famously filled minutes with defensive savant Draymond Green at the 5 spot. And while Steve Kerr is known to hold a great affinity for Kevin Looney, Golden State's veteran center has garnered plenty of early interest from around the league, sources say, as the Warriors consider whether or not to add another piece to a rotation that also features standout sophomore Tracy Jackson Davis, Fisher wrote in a separate Substack report. Which new names have emerged as Warriors trade targets? To say that the Golden State Warriors have had a rough go of it lately would be a massive understatement. The team has struggled mightily, losing 9 of their last 11 games, and have been put in a position with more questions than answers. Their most recent blowout loss to the Memphis Grizzlies was stunning. The Warriors lost by a whopping 51 points. It begs the question of whether their issues can be solved internally at this point. The Warriors have already attempted to go externally to solve the issue. Dennis Schroeder was recently acquired from the Brooklyn Nets in an effort to improve the roster. Most would expect that will not be the end of the Warriors' plans to tinker with what they have. Brett Siegel recently highlighted that the Warriors will be exhausting close to all options. They have often been linked to Jimmy Butler, but that is not the only avenue they will be exploring. Siegel wrote, "The Warriors adding 2 or 3 key secondary talents before the trade deadline after just trading for Schroeder is not out of the question. Cameron Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Kyle Kuzma, Nikola Vucevic, Jonas Valanciunas, Bruce Brown, Dante DiVincenzo, Matisse Thybulle, and DeAndre Hunter are all players that have been on Golden State's radar in recent weeks," sources said. That's 10 names. That's 10 targets. Some of the names seen above are players who have notably already been linked to the Warriors, like Johnson, Kuzma, and Vucevic. However, names like Hunter, DiVincenzo, and others feel like fresh inclusions to the list. The Warriors should be one of the busiest teams between now and the NBA trade deadline on February 6. If the goal is to win one more championship during the Stephen Curry era, there is a lot of work to be done in Golden State. Inside Warriors trade target rumors from LeBron to Julius. The Golden State Warriors are expected to make some sort of trade before the February 6 deadline, although the size of the move still remains to be seen. Before Thanksgiving, the Warriors were the best team in the Western Conference, but they now sit at 14-11 and are the 7th seed. The Warriors have been linked to Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Brandon Ingram, and, recently, Zion Williamson, among other players. Of course, some other role players have been floated as possible trade candidates, but the appealing all-stars have mostly been limited to those 4. However, the Warriors are overlooking one ideal trade target if those recent rumors are true. If the Warriors are looking for a physical scoring wing, and their interest in Ingram, Butler, and James points to exactly that, then there is certainly a cheaper option who fits the mold. Cameron Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith are certainly attainable, although they don't have the volume-scoring punch or star pizzazz that a typical Dubs trade target might have. Instead of any of the players mentioned earlier, the Warriors should inquire about Julius Randle's availability. In his first season with the Minnesota Timberwolves, the two-time All-Star is averaging 20.1 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 4 assists while shooting 34.8% from three-point range and 48.3% from the floor. Those numbers are pretty close to his career averages, but his fit next to Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert is suspect, to say the least. The Wolves are also 14-11 and could be looking to shake things up. Randle is owed $33 million this season, so any trade package that would bring in Ingram, James, Williamson, or Butler would be enough to match his salary, and the Warriors would likely be able to save some draft capital as well since Randle isn't perceived to be on the same level as those stars. LeBron of the Los Angeles Lakers? Intriguing. But all logical signs point to Golden State making a smaller move, as they did by adding Dennis Schroeder, but if they decide to go all out, Randle should not be overlooked or forgotten about.